Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting or even just curious about the spare change in your pocket, you're gonna want to pay close attention today because we are diving into a small copper-plated coin that might just be worth a small fortune. That's right, we're talking about the 1989 D. Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, the humble 1-cent coin minted in Denver in 1989. It might look like any other coin in your change jar, but some rare variations of this penny have sold for over $50,000, and in today's video, we're going to uncover the fascinating history behind the 1989 D. Lincoln penny, what makes it so special, and how some examples of this coin have reached jaw-dropping prices like $50,785 in the current market. Now, before we dive into the big money, let's go back a little in time and talk about the history of this iconic coin. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was a revolutionary design at the time, featuring the bust of a real historical figure for the first time on a circulating American coin. Fast forward to 1989, and the Lincoln cent had already seen some changes. For one, in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc core because of rising copper prices. So by 1989, the coins being minted were mostly zinc with a thin layer of copper, which affects the weight, sound, and even look of the coin over time. The D Mint mark under the date indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major mints in the United States. Now, millions and millions of 1989 D pennies were produced, to be exact, over 5.3 billion of them. So you might be wondering, how can a coin that common be worth anything close to $50,000? The answer lies in the details. In the world of coin collecting, it's not just about how many were made, but how well a coin was struck, how well it was preserved, and whether it has any rare errors or varieties. Enter the rare, high-grade specimens of the 1989 D penny. When we talk about a coin being worth thousands of dollars, we're almost always talking about coins that are in near perfect condition or coins with major minting errors. For the 1989 D. Lincoln cent, that means coins that have been graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC and received a grade of MS68 or higher. MS stands for mint state, and the grading scale goes up to 70. A coin graded MS68 or MS69 means it looks almost flawless under magnification, and that is incredibly rare, especially for coins that were mass-produced for circulation. So here's where things get interesting. Back in recent auctions, a 1989 D penny graded MS69 red, yes, red meaning full original color and luster, sold for $50,785. That's right, over 50 grand for a 1-cent coin. That specific coin was nearly flawless with perfect surfaces, no visible contact marks under magnification, and exceptional eye appeal. It was basically a unicorn in the world of modern coins, and while it might be the highest auction result for a 1989 D. Lincoln penny, there are plenty of others that have sold for hundreds, even thousands, depending on their condition and grade. Now, let's talk about what you should look for in your change or coin collection. If you come across a 1989 D penny, the first thing you want to check is the condition. Is the coin shiny and red with no scratches or dings? Is the strike crisp and clear? Look at Lincoln's coat, his beard, and the details in the memorial on the reverse side. Next, check for any mint errors. That's right, sometimes mistakes made at the mint can make a coin insanely valuable. Things like doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or missing elements can all add up to big value. There are known varieties of the 1989 D penny that include strong doubled dies and coins with weak strikes that give a ghost-like appearance to Lincoln's face. These types of errors can be very appealing to collectors and can drive up the value substantially. So, how do you know if your coin is worth anything? Your best bet is to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Examine the coin closely, and if you think it's something special, consider sending it to a grading service. Companies like PCGS or NGC can professionally grade your coin and give it an official certification, which is what collectors and auction houses use to assign real market value. Now, let's talk current market trends as of today in the numismatic world. High-grade 1989 D pennies are still in strong demand. The population of MS68 or better coins is still incredibly low, meaning collectors will pay a premium for top examples. Even coins in MS66 or MS67 condition can sell for hundreds of dollars, and if you're lucky enough to own an error coin or an exceptionally high-grade example, you could be sitting on a treasure that's worth thousands, or maybe even over $50,000. So what's the takeaway here? Don't ignore your pocket change. Even coins from the late 80s that look ordinary might be worth way more than you think. With a little knowledge and attention to detail, you could be holding onto a valuable piece of American history. So the next time you come across a 1989 Lincoln penny, take a good long look. You never know, it might just be your ticket to a serious payday. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny, or if you want me to cover another coin in the future. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your change always bring you fortune. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coins, currency, and uncovering hidden treasures, then you're definitely in the right place, because today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and unexpectedly valuable coins in modern US history, the 1981 Lincoln cent without a mint mark. This little copper penny that you might have sitting in a jar at home could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars. No joke. In fact, in a recent high-grade auction, one of these sold for a jaw-dropping $42,984. That's right, almost 43 grand for a single penny. So what's the story behind this unassuming little coin? And how can you tell if the one in your collection is worth serious money? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the basics of the 1981 Lincoln cent. The coin was struck as part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which started way back in 1959, when the reverse design changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial. The obverse still featured the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner way back in 1909. The 1981 cent looks just like millions of others struck throughout the 70s and early 80s. But what makes this one different? What makes the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent so special that collectors would pay tens of thousands of dollars for it? Well, here's where it gets interesting. First, you need to know that in 1981 the U.S. Mint was still producing Lincoln cents primarily from copper. The composition was 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, later that same year, the mint transitioned to a copper-plated zinc composition due to rising metal costs. So there are two different types of 1981 pennies, the copper and the zinc. And if you're lucky enough to have one of the early copper cents in perfect condition, it could already be worth more than face value. But that's not all. The real value comes from two other factors: rarity and condition. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent that sold for over $42,000 wasn't just any regular penny. It was graded at an incredible level of perfection, mint state 68 red, by a top grading company. That means the coin had no visible wear, a nearly flawless surface, and a bright original red luster, just like the day it left the mint. Combine that top condition with the fact that there are so few of these coins known at such a high grade, and you've got a recipe for some serious money. Now, let's talk about the no mint mark part. You may be wondering what no mint mark actually means. Well, coins minted in Philadelphia typically do not have a mint mark, so a 1981 penny with no mint mark means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the kicker: most people never paid attention to these coins because they assumed they were ordinary, and most were, but in a very small number of cases, the dies used to strike the coins were prepared with exceptional precision, and those coins escaped the usual wear and tear of circulation. Those few surviving examples are now prized by collectors. So, how can you tell if your 1981 no mint mark penny is valuable? First, check the coin's weight. If it's a copper penny, it should weigh about 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies will be lighter, closer to 2.5 grams. Next, examine the coin's color and surface. If it still has that bright red shine and minimal marks, it could be worth sending into a coin grading company. But be warned, not every old penny is valuable. The difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth thousands can come down to just a few tiny details. And here's something else to keep in mind: the market for rare coins, especially high-grade Lincoln cents, has been heating up in recent years. More collectors are entering the hobby, prices are rising, and rare pieces are becoming harder and harder to find. That means if you do have one of these coins, now is an excellent time to consider getting it appraised or graded. The demand is strong and the prices are holding. Now, you might be wondering why someone would pay over $42,000 for a penny. It seems crazy, right? But to serious collectors and numismatists, these coins represent history, artistry, and extreme rarity. Think about it: out of the billions of pennies produced, only a tiny handful survive in top condition. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. And if you find one in your pocket change or an old coin jar, it could literally change your life. So what should you do if You think you have a valuable 1981 Lincoln penny? First, don't clean it. Never clean coins, as that can lower their value dramatically. Second, weigh the coin to check if it's copper or zinc. Third, use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to check for surface marks, luster, and detail. If it looks promising, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like Pennies or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin, and once it's certified, you'll have a better idea of its true market value. To wrap things up, yes, a 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent can absolutely be worth thousands of dollars, and even up to $42,984 if it's the right coin in the right condition. With just a little bit of knowledge and a lot of curiosity, you might discover a treasure hiding in plain sight. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on valuable coin tips and discoveries. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny, or if you're going to check your collection right now. Who knows, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting those rare pennies. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here and you love coins, history, and rare collectibles, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update from us. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in the world of numismatics, and that is the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you may be wondering, how can a penny from 1978 be worth as much as $77,000? That's right, $77,000 for a coin that most people would just toss in their change jar. Well, grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's explore the fascinating story behind this unassuming 1-cent coin and why collectors are going absolutely wild for it. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and since then it has become a staple of American coinage. Now, fast forward to 1978, the Lincoln penny that year was struck in massive numbers. Over 5.5 billion coins were produced by the Philadelphia Mint alone, and that's just the ones without any mint mark. The Denver Mint struck over 4 billion more, marked with a little d on the coin. So what makes a 1978 penny without a mint mark so special after all these coins were made in the billions, right? Well, this is where things get really interesting. You see, most 1978 pennies are made of copper-coated zinc, but prior to 1982, they were actually made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. That means each of these older pennies actually contains more than 2 cents worth of copper at today's prices. But that's just the beginning. Among the billions of coins produced, a very tiny number of them were struck with incredible minting errors or unique variations that make them extremely valuable to collectors. We're talking double die obverse, soft center strikes, clipped planchets, repunched mint marks, and so on. But here's the twist. In 1978, there were a few no mint mark Lincoln cents that show strange die characteristics and doubling effects on the date or on the lettering of the coin, and that's where the money is. One such coin was found with a very strong double die error on the obverse side, which means the front of the coin. This error results in visible doubling on Lincoln's eye, the date, and sometimes even the word Liberty. This doubling happens when the coin die shifts slightly during the minting process, causing a doubling effect on the final design. Coins like this are extremely rare and highly sought after in mint state condition, especially graded MS66 or higher. These coins can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, one such 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a strong double die obverse and nearly flawless condition was sold for an eye-watering $77,000 at auction. Now let's talk about the market value. Why is someone paying that much for a penny you could find in your pocket change? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Coin collectors, known as numismatists, are always on the hunt for coins that are both rare and historically significant. When a coin like this pops up that has a combination of age, scarcity, and an eye-catching error, the bidding wars begin. Grading companies like Pennies and NGC authenticate and grade coins on a 70-point scale. The higher the grade, the more perfect the coin is, and the more it's worth. A 1978 penny with a rare double die in MS66 red condition is about as good as it gets. Now, here's a tip. If you have a jar of old pennies sitting around somewhere, go take a look at them. Find your 1978 pennies and take a really close look at the obverse side. Look at Lincoln's eye, look at the date, look at the lettering in Liberty, and in God we trust. If you see any signs of doubling, it might be worth getting it graded by A professional. Even if you don't find one worth $77,000, you might come across other valuable varieties. Some 1978 pennies, even with minor errors, can sell for $50 to $100 or more on online marketplaces like eBay. And let's not forget about condition coins that have been kept in circulation are usually scratched, worn, and discolored. But if you happen to find a 1978 penny that looks brand new with no scratches, no stains, and a bright red copper color, it could be worth. Grading. A high-grade coin from that year, even without an error, can still be worth a few $100s. Now, I want to talk a bit about the history of the mint marks. A lot of people get confused when they hear the term no mint mark. In 1978, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing coins without any mint mark. So if your 1978 penny has no letter under the date, that's completely normal. It doesn't mean it's a rare error by itself, but when paired with a special variety or die error, that's when things get exciting. The Denver Mint used a small d as its mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint used an S. But in 1978, most Lincoln cents came from Philadelphia and Denver. Another reason why the 1978 penny has become a hot topic lately is because of the increasing popularity of coin collecting during the digital age. More people are sharing their finds online, using social media and auction platforms to show off rare coins and discover what their own coins are worth. This has caused a surge in demand and awareness about valuable coins sitting in everyday change. Now, you might be asking yourself, should I start collecting pennies? And my answer is absolutely yes. It's fun, it's inexpensive, and you never know what you'll find. Coin collecting is one of the only hobbies where you can literally turn pocket change into a small fortune. So here's your homework for today. Check your coin jars, go through your change, and specifically look for 1978 pennies without a mint mark is fine, but look for coins that are in excellent condition and pay special attention to doubling. On the obverse side, if you think you have something unusual, take a close-up picture and show it to a local coin dealer or post it to a coin collector group online. You never know, you could be holding onto a piece of history worth $77,000 and not even know it. And that wraps up our video on the mysterious and potentially ultra-valuable 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video or learn something new, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket change. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep collecting and stay curious. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare coins and bringing you an exciting and valuable piece of American history. We are talking about the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that has stunned collectors and enthusiasts alike with its unexpected value. You heard that right, a single penny from 1975 that most people might have overlooked or spent without a second thought could actually be worth up to $92,673 today. Now let's break down everything you need to know about this incredible coin. First off, let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. And it was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse or front of the coin has featured Lincoln's portrait ever since. Over the years, the reverse has gone through a few changes, but in 1975, it still featured the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959. Now, when we say no mint mark, we are referring to coins that were minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia traditionally did not use a mint mark on its 1-cent coins, so a penny from 1975 without a mint mark is not necessarily rare just because the mint mark is missing. However, what makes it rare and valuable comes down to a few special factors, and we are going to explore those now. Let's talk about why this coin is worth so much. In general, most 1975 Lincoln cents are worth only face value, especially if they are circulated. But if the coin is in mint state condition, especially something like MS67 or MS68 red, which refers to the luster and condition of the copper, it can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. The example that sold for over $92,000 was not just any coin. It had exceptional strike quality, almost perfect surfaces, and an eye appeal that made it stand out even among other mint state coins. It was graded by one of the top grading services, and that added credibility and demand. On top of that, rare varieties and errors from 1975 add even more interest. There are examples of double die obverse coins, which means the design was accidentally stamped twice, causing a noticeable doubling on the letters or date. There are also examples of off-center strikes, planted errors, and other unique features that can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. Now here's where things get exciting for Anyone watching at home, because this coin was minted in the billions, there is a chance that a rare, valuable example is still out there in a drawer, a jar, or maybe even in your pocket change. It's not just about how old the coin is, it's about its condition, rarity, and whether it has any unique features like die errors or high-grade preservation. Let's say you find a 1975 penny with no mint mark, and it looks shiny with no visible damage, scratches, or discoloration. You might be holding something valuable, though. Next step would be to take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will assess the coin's condition and assign it a grade that can dramatically impact its value. A lower grade might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars, but a high grade can jump in value exponentially. As we mentioned earlier, an MS-68 red 1975 Lincoln cent with no mint mark sold for an astonishing $92,673. At auction. That's life changing money for a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. Let's talk a bit about the current market. Rare coins are more popular than ever. Collectors are hunting for high-grade copper coins, especially from the 1970s, because they're getting harder to find in pristine condition. Copper oxidizes over time, and many pennies from the era have lost their original red shine. So a bright red coin from 1975 with no mint mark in nearly perfect condition is like a unicorn for collectors. Auction houses and online marketplaces like Heritage Auctions or eBay have seen a surge in coin activity, especially as more people get into the hobby. People are searching through coin rolls, banks, and old collections in hopes of striking gold, or in this case, striking copper, and who can blame them when one penny could be worth over $90,000. So what should you be looking for? Here's a quick checklist. 1. Check for the date, 1975. 2. Confirm there is no mint mark under the date. 3. Check the condition. If it looks brand new or shiny red, it might be uncirculated. 4. Consider if there are any visible errors like doubling or off-center strikes. And 5. If in doubt, get it graded. It could be the best investment of your life. All right, everyone, that's the story behind the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny. From a common copper coin to a rare collectible worth tens of thousands of dollars. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and maybe your next penny could be worth more than your paycheck. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on hidden coin treasures and numismatic news. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or have a collection you're proud of. We love hearing your stories. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck. Welcome back, coin collectors and curious minds. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies ever struck in American history. You might want to double-check your pocket change after this video, because we're talking about the legendary 1969 Lincoln cent without a mint mark that could be worth a staggering $83,782. That's right, a single penny that can change your life. Let's rewind the clock to 1969. The world was buzzing with energy. Man had just landed on the moon. Woodstock brought a musical revolution. And tucked away in everyday pockets and purses across America was a humble copper penny, featuring the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln. At first glance, the 1969 Lincoln cent looked just like any other. But as time would soon reveal, there was something very special about a tiny number of them. Now, before we get into the value and why these coins are so rare, let's take a moment to understand what we're looking at. The obverse side of the coin features the classic Lincoln bust, a design by Victor David Brenner that has been in use since 1909. To the right, we see the year 1969. And if you look closely, you'll notice something missing. There's no mint mark beneath the date. Normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. In fact, Philadelphia mint coins didn't always include a mint mark back then. But here's where it gets interesting. A very specific variety of the 1969 no mint mark penny was struck with a dramatic error. It's known as a doubled die obverse. That means the design elements on the front of the coin, including the inscriptions, were struck twice, slightly offset, creating a distinct and noticeable doubling effect. This doubling is most obvious in the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1969. But we're not talking about just any blurry or worn-out coin. This is sharp, clear doubling, visible to the naked eye, and absolutely stunning under magnification. That doubling is what gives this coin its incredible value. But there's more to the story. Counterfeiters caught on quickly. So many fake 1969 doubled die pennies were hitting the market that the U.S. Secret Service actually got involved. Yes, you heard that right. The Secret Service confiscated many counterfeit coins in the 1970s, which made the genuine ones even rarer. That means if you have a real one, you're holding onto an incredibly scarce piece of numismatic history. Only a small number of authentic 1969 no-mint mark double-die pennies are known to exist today. Estimates vary, but it's believed there are fewer than 100 confirmed examples, maybe even fewer. And that rarity is what fuels the sky-high price tag. In recent years, collectors have paid tens of thousands of dollars at auction for these coins. One of the highest recorded sales happened when a coin in excellent condition fetched a jaw-dropping $83,782. That wasn't just some fluke. It was a graded coin, authenticated by professional coin graders, and preserved in excellent condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition matters. A coin with that level of preservation is like finding a time capsule. How do you know if you have one? First, look at the date. If your penny says 1969 and there's no mint mark underneath the year, you're off to a good start. Then check the lettering. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled, sharp, and clearly shifted, not just blurry or worn, you might be sitting on a gold mine. But remember, there are lots of fakes out there, so you'll need to have the coin authenticated by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even if your penny isn't in perfect condition, don't toss it aside. A lower-grade example can still fetch thousands of dollars. That's right. Even if it's got a bit of wear and tear, the rarity of this coin keeps its value high. Collectors are always on the hunt, especially for rare error coins like this. And here's a fun fact. Some people have reported finding these valuable coins in old coin jars, in inherited coin collections, or even in rolls from the bank. That means it's not just about luck. Sometimes, a little bit of knowledge and a sharp eye is all it takes to find a treasure hiding in plain sight. What should you do if you think you found one? First, don't clean it. That's one of the worst things you can do to a rare coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and place it in a protective holder. Then reach out to a reputable coin dealer or grading service. They can help you verify its authenticity and potentially submit it for grading. Now let's talk a little more about the current market. As of now, the 1969 double-die penny is one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents out there. While we're focusing on the no-mint mark version, you might also come across the 1969 variety, which also features the doubling. But remember, the no-mint mark double-die version is far more rare and valuable, especially in high-grade conditions. Coin collectors love stories, and this coin has it all. History, mystery, drama, and a huge payday. It represents the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. It's the kind of coin that turns a hobby into a headline. And who knows, maybe the next rare penny is already sitting in your coin jar right now. Wrap it up. The 1969 no-mint mark Lincoln cent with the double-die obverse is one of the most exciting modern American coins. Its value can soar as high as $83,000 or more, depending on the grade. Its history is full of twists, from errors at the mint to counterfeiting investigations. And its future? Well, that depends on the eyes of collectors like you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and value, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin content, and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare penny in your change? Or do you have a story about a coin collector in your family? We'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep collecting, keep learning, and who knows, maybe your next coin could be worth a fortune.